How's it going, everyone? It is Thursday, May 9th, 2024. This is the video of the day. Let's get right into it. So I gave a few picks yesterday. The first was the Hood earnings time spread. So I'm going to pull that up right here. And we took the $18 calls for a 23-cent debit. And I think the best way to show what happened with this Hood time spread is to show this chart that will show, when you try to track the price of these spreads. So here you can see the different prices as well as the bid-ask spreads for Hood after the earnings time spread came up. So remember, we took the $18 calls for a 23-cent debit. We had this set up, I know you can't see, with very high option liquidity. This zero rarely exceeds earnings, and this is the IV crush between that time. So Hood popped up. We had this doji over here and a nice long red candle through the low of the day, and then we had some steady selling. So when I got out, I took a pretty small profit. I got out for pretty much a scratch, and then you can see how Hood actually came to my original target, which was 30 cents. So it actually hit that target the next day, or in a couple of minutes. And then later in the day, you can see how the bid-ask spreads start to tighten as the volatility decreases. So that's kind of how the Hood spread went down. So it's kind of a scratch for me, but if you had given it some time, you could have gotten the nice win. So that was the Hood time spread. I'm going to try to track more of those, and just to see, how the prices are, how the bid-ask spreads kind of react. I think those sort of movements with the earning time spreads are a little bit cloudy to me, so we're going to track those. Now, I gave a conditional pick yesterday. The market was pulling back over here earlier in the day. Oh, it's not going to show. And I said, if we find some support, we get something going off this bull cycle, a nice strong move, I would recommend a net. You can see how it was really strong earlier in the day while the market was pulling back. But then when the market actually found support, it started to rally around 140. A net didn't really do anything. It was kind of compressing. As soon as the market started to get weak, the net kind of came down. So it was strong later in the day, but we expected some move and some event to happen. It didn't happen. Which meant that the selling was done for today. So a net should have been a no trade. How about T-Doc? Well, I called that T-Doc as a nice short, and I said, look, if it breaks through this compression at the low of the day, you have a nice shorting opportunity. So that's what happened at 12:10. We broke this compression, closed not at it. I prefer a key red bar closing near its low, but this tail is okay. And I expect the move to produce pretty quickly, which is what happened. So we got in at 12:33. We were all the way down to about 10 cents, and then you could see how the stock compressed for a while. Didn't really move with this last stage of the market. Around 135, market's going down. This stock is not really going down. So it's pretty dead. So you take your win over here. That's maybe 8 cents, maybe even 10 cents if you get a good exit on the stock. And it does have an extra move, but does kind of die out for today. And you know that there is a low minus trend line coming into play, providing some resistance, providing some support. So T-Doc was a pretty nice win. I'm going to take them out over here. Okay, now we have GE. Let's look at this on the daily chart. That's really what we care about here. GE is still strong, just compressing, and I want this move to produce. So we took it over here on May 7th. So I want to produce in maybe 4 or 5 days. I want to see some pretty quick production on the move. Otherwise, I'm going to get to the sidelines because I need that cushion in terms of price, and I need to get from the stock or the market. If I'm not getting it from either, then I'm not going to be crazy about the stock over here. So nothing crazy on GE. We're going to keep an eye on it today. We're going to see what the market does, if the market can surge up higher today, or if GE can actually also surge up higher with the market. If the market's surging up higher and GE isn't really doing too much, we might end up swapping it out if it doesn't produce in the next week or so, because we want to ride the fastest horse, and it looks like GE may still have some work to do on the upside. Okay, so let's go over the market on a longer term basis. Like I said, fundamentally, we're just kind of watching any signs of continued economic weakness. We're seeing if these previous economic points are the start of something new, or if they are just sort of one-off points. The key thing that I took away today, we had the initial jobless claims that came out a little bit higher than expected. It was 238 versus 218 expected. So we like to have that stay around 200. And that is a leading indicator of the unemployment report. So if we have multiple initial jobless claims that come in higher each week, then we have to be more cognizant that the unemployment report could have a downside surprise. Technically, we have a nice strong move up higher all the way from a few months. We got a deeper pullback, a little more organized than we'd like it to be. And then we got this move up higher, which has been fairly tenuous, fairly low volume, and fairly patchy. So we're not the most bullish. We're really watching out for, is this going to be a double top? Will we test the all-time high? Will we come back down? That's really what we're seeing at this point. Right now, I'm mildly bullish here. Today, I actually liked how we made a new high for the week. And the price action has been a little bit tighter after this, after all these earnings have been digested. So if we get a sort of tighter move up here, I'll like what I see in the market. And it will give me a little more confidence that we'll be able to challenge the all-time high. So that's kind of where my bias is right now. I'm leaning more towards we're probably going to challenge this all-time high. I don't have a lot of confidence right now that we'll break it. If we do break it and GE is looking strong, then I'm going to be adding to my GE swing. If we don't break it, and we kind of stall out there for a while, I'm probably going to take profits on GE because this double top could be too uncertain and we could be forming a bit of a range, and that's just not the conditions I want to take for longer swings. Okay, so that is our shorter term market bias here. We're still mildly bullish. Let's go into the intraday chart and see what's going on here. So, been drawing and redrawing a lot of trend lines. The main story, I think, starts on the 7th, where we get this gap up, choppy price action, pretty LPT sort of day. On the 8th, we move up higher, also pull back, very low volume sort of day. Market is moving higher. Today, we get a flat open, pretty strong move up, and then we sort of compress. And you can kind of see the theme going on in the past couple of days. And usually these days kind of mirror each other. Strong move up, and then we get kind of some weakness and dull action later in the day. So I'm expecting some pretty dull action after this initial move. This is a more bullish scenario, and I'm going to tell you why. So we got the strong move up, we got this long green candle through the gap, and then we started to retrace that pretty quickly, right? I didn't like how quickly we retraced this move. We found some support because this move was so weak that buyers stepped in a lot earlier at the low of the day, started to surge up higher, and have drawn this bullish channel that we're in. So we're at the top of this bullish channel, we're testing it. Now we're probably going to make a move down to challenge the low of that bullish channel. Today we had a flat open, so that's already more bullish. We had a much stronger surge up, and you can see how we had this long green candle and it didn't retrace immediately. We tried to push up and we held all of these gains for a very long time. We held them for pretty much an hour, and that tells me that buyers were in there bidding and bidding and bidding. Sellers are overwhelming it right now, but the trend is still bullish, so we're going to wait for the market to come in a little bit. Then we can take some nice long swings. We're getting this bearish crossover here. So I think we'll have a nice late day opportunity to take some swings, maybe in an hour, hour and a half, or 2 hours. So this is a good day to get in some parabolic stocks that are pulling back, as well as some stocks that are compressing near the high of the day. So let's see if we can find some of those for a day trade. So I'm going to go to my high of the day compressions here. And I like to first sort by just D1. So AES, okay, that's really nice. We'll take a look at that. And RG, looking pretty good. Might have to get to this post-earnings level, but certainly quite strong. NEE has been on an absolute tear. That's really what I want to enter. MS, very nice move. GS Financials, very strong as well. Those have already pulled back. I'm actually in MS right now. NEM, I like how it's held this level. Pretty good liquidity. This could be a pretty nice put credit spread, I think. So I'm going to keep an eye on NEM. I'm going to actually add it to the put credit spread watch list. Because I really like what I'm seeing here. Amgen has been a nice grinder. I'm going to add to those. Zim has really had a nice head of steam here, getting through a lot of key levels. Yeah, getting through a lot of key levels here. So yeah, I'm liking Zim. A lot of nice stocks coming up over here. A lot of nice D1 charts. RTX coming back into favor. I'm in RTX as well. KKR, not as bullish. EMR ought to be a pretty big move. TGX, not too bad. Okay, so we got some tags, and I already have some tagged lists here. So let's see what we can get going. We can get rid of pass here. NEM is gold miners, so it might be a little bit different. You can see here, very steady price action, organized, not really any retracements, and we hold all the gains. So NEM is nice. I want to get something that's a little bit more trendy. Yeah. So this is a pretty nice move. MS, I'm in. So yeah, that's producing very nicely. Cost is a good one to see. Now, Cost has a gap fill coming up at 777, so don't get too crazy about that. Amazon has just broken out to a new all-time high. It's coming back and testing this level. So Amazon could be a pretty top pick. I already saw it in the chat, so I don't want to really give a pick that's already in the chat. But that's a nice pick. I'm liking Amgen a lot. This might be my day trading pick of the day. So here's why I like Amgen. We have this gap up, we test the bid, we hold this leg higher, and let's just look at the price action the prior day. We have this move up and this really nice orderly price action that's just grinding up higher and higher. I'm going to flip back to the D1. Stock has pulled back. It found buyers right here, halfway in the gap, very, very bullish. And then we actually started to get above our AVWAP-E, and we're starting to rise up a lot higher. And the AVWAP-E came into play at 308.50. So if I look at 308.50, yep, here's our AVWAP-E right around here. So we found some support. We broke the new high of the day, and we're just sort of churning up. So I like this nice steady price action that Amgen is doing. I like how it's compressing at the high of the day while the market is pulling back. So if it continues to compress at the high of the day on this breakout of the high of the day, once the market starts to find some support, I think Amgen would be a great long. GS has already been making its move. I think you could get in here. I like getting in here earlier, I think, on the LRSI cross because it goes parabolic. So either you get in here or here. Once it kind of pulls back, I wouldn't chase GS. MO was looking nice, and now it's kind of come in a little bit. JPM, not as strong as yesterday. Yeah, HPQ, kind of not trending. App was one that was pretty nice. So you can see how it had a big gap up, tested the bid. We're catching the high of the day, and now it's compressing. So a couple pretty nice picks. Amazon price action is pretty nice. I really like how it's on the all-time high. If it can hold above this high of the day, could be pretty good. So we're gonna have two bullish picks here. So first, I am gonna call it Amazon. I really like what I'm seeing here in the stock on this new all-time high. And here's what I would do with Amazon. If Amazon can first hold its level above this high right here. Oh, there's my RTX alert. If Amazon can hold this level, we get an HA reversal and a nice key green bar, I would take Amazon long as a day trade and even as an overnight swing, depending on what you're feeling like doing. So that's going to be the first pick I'm going to add to my YouTube picks. The second one that I'm going to give is Amgen. So this is my other long pick of the day. So if the market comes in, it finds some supported VWAP, and Amgen continues to compress, I'm going to set an alert at the high of the day on Amgen. If it breaks that compression, I'm going to get back into this stock. We have plenty of room, by the way. This might be a level 313, 313 maybe a level here. And it looks like it did react to whatever that level is here. So I am going to draw a trend line coming into play. That may be the factor. Yeah, you could probably ride it until 313. There's some room here. So Amgen would be my other pick. So let's add that to our YouTube picks. Checking for some earnings time spread. I did take ACAM today, and I like this setup on ACAM. First, you can see we have a nice good price. The average move is less than the expected move. It's about half. The times exceeded is 0, and there's a very, very high difference, and that's because we had a pretty big move last time on ACAM. But typically, the stock does not exceed that earnings move. So the option liquidity is pretty low. So if we look at the time spread for ACAM here, you can see I'm already in it. I sold the 520 calls and I bought the next week calls. I got it for a, oh, is it going to show it here? Oh, it may not show it here. Okay, so I have to go to my options broker. Looks like it's not coming here. So I got in for a 25-cent debit, and I have an order out for a 35-cent credit. I think this has a chance to fill in the day. And I set my target for ACAM much lower in the mid of that spread. So I like ACAM for an earnings time spread. We're going to add that to our list as well. So give you a couple of different picks. Last one we're going to check is just on NEM is nice, but gold is not really something that is relatively strong. So not the craziest about that. Amazon, MRK is pretty decent, and I like spot here for a PCS, or even a naked put, I think you could say, if the market kind of finds some support here. So I'll have to check the spot naked put. It's not something that I can take on my main account because I don't have the options level here. But if you take it, let's say a month out, so you take the 6, 7, and you have this at support, so you could probably take the 275 calls. I'm going to take a look at these right now. Yeah, so you can get them for about $2.15, and depending on the margin you have to put up is about 25% of your strike price. So you got to put up, if it's a $275 stock, you put in let's call it $53 of margin. So you're getting about a 5% return on that. Could be maybe a better high V. What I'll also like to do is check. So these are some higher IV stocks. You can sell some short puts on. W is looking really nice. Carvana looking pretty nice. Let's check the Carvana ones. And I probably should not be always checking through the videos, but I am curious. I'm trying to paper trade practice my short puts here. So if you want to get it, let's say at the gap fill somewhere at the 92, that could be way too far out of the money. Let's see if, yeah, it might be way too far out of the money. If I sell, I mean, you can get it for about $1, and you'd have to put up, let's see, $91 puts. You'd have to put up 20% of the strike, so $18. So $1 versus 18. Yeah, not the best when something like Carvana. And that could be pretty decent here as a short put. mRNA is actually holding up pretty well. This could set up pretty decently for a PCS. Consider that it's held this breakout level here. There's a pretty clear line in the sand. So yeah, mRNA PCS could also be a pretty decent trade. Let's see if it's going to give us the information here. Let's go at a month, and let's see. We would sell probably the 114, 113. Pretty wide bid-ask spread. Do like how we've held the earnings gains here. Oh, looked like Amgen looked like that popping up. So Amgen might be setting up here. Yeah, pretty wide bid-ask spread, but you could probably get 20 cents for this. Yeah, also pretty wide here. The 115s are pretty good. If you want to go a little bit lower at the money, you could do the 116s. So if you want to get a more aggressive one, you can see the 116, 115 here. You can get it for 20 cents. So that gets you right around here at the top of this red candle, which is pretty good for a week, I would say. So yeah, a couple of PCSs setting up. I don't think I'm going to give a pick in this video. I have to do some more searching on my end. And, you know, we want to kind of see how the market's doing today, how it closes today. But I am keeping that in mind for some put credit spreads. Because if we get some sort of trend, if we sort of stall at the all-time high, it could be a nice way to get some money and distance myself from the action. So I gave all the picks. Today we're going to go over them once. So we're in GE. I gave the ACAM earnings time spread. I gave Amgen as a high compression break, has to close above that level. And I gave Amazon, if it finds support at this high of the day, gets a nice E bar. So we'll see if those get set up tomorrow, and we're going to keep an eye on GE. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we will take a look at these tomorrow.